Hello, happy Friday, and welcome to Let's Get Socials Live So Long. And happy March because we are in a new month. We had a great February, celebrated lots of Black pattern designers, made lots of great patterns. I have one behind me. This is the Sassy Sweatsuit that was by Dee. Patterns by Dee, and we did her top, but this is the full sweatsuit. But today we are actually in the month of March. We are going to be doing crafts and things. And I have on my YouTube all of the patterns that we are going to be doing this month. But today we are actually going to be making um, what is this thing called? It is called a mug cover. And you will basically put this over top of a mug. And so, yeah, we're going to be making that today. I have my everything all cut out. Let me know if you ever made this before. Drop in the chat. Let me know if you ever made it. I do believe that it's going to be a quick so long, but I've never made it before. So we are doing this together. Unlike last week, I do not think we will be on for 5 hours to make this. Just so that you know, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 different designs. They're all mug covers, but they vary slightly either in whether the fabric that's used or color blocking that's used or fabric blocking, I guess, different fabrics that are used. So, but they're, for the most part, it's 3 pattern pieces, and you're going to use 2 or 3 of the 3 pattern pieces to make any of these variations of these. I'm actually giving this one to my daughter who works from home because this will be a great way for her to clean up her desk and put a whole lot of this stuff together. Hi, Gaynell. Welcome. Hi, Tammy. Hi, cool person 1 2 3 4. What a cool handle. Welcome to this live. And let me know what y'all are working on this weekend too. So before we dive in, as I stated, this is 3 pattern pieces. You could use a variety of different fabrics. I'm using some cotton fabric, and I am doing a little bit of color blocking. I'm using this stars fabric. This is all actually scraps that I had from, I think I made like a little pouch or something, and I had like some scraps that I had brought from some leftover from some fat quarters. So the black stars is my contrasting fabric, and this is like my main fabric. You also do need some batting, and so I have that already cut out as well. And you will need some double fold bias tape, and this is where I actually will need your help. I have a gold here, and then I have this turquoise color. The gold is fine. The problem with the gold is that I don't have any matching thread, so I feel like the gold is not going to look as good because I think that the thread is top stitched on. So I think it's not going to look good, but I'm willing to take the, chance or whatever. I have a lot of this gold, but I was thinking either the gold or the turquoise. I thought either one could look good. So before we drop it in the chat, which one you would like to see me try, either the gold or the turquoise. Now I have the exact matching thread for the turquoise. But for the gold, I was thinking I would use like a pale yellow for the gold. Again, it's not going to be matching because who has gold thread? If you've heard of gold thread, let me know because I've never heard of it before. Yeah, there's that. The other thing is, you also do need this hook and loop, which is just basically, you know what, it's crazy. I didn't know I had this. I had it because I bought it when I made my grandson's costume. But this is basically Velcro. So you were going to be using Velcro to stick, to help fasten the mug cover onto the mug. So yeah, you need that. So I have that as well. And I also have, I bought actually 2 kinds because again I didn't know what I was going to need for my grandson's costume. So I bought these little squares as well, but we'll see which one we'll end up using. It says the pattern actually calls for 1 2-inch length of 3/4 inch wide hook and loop, and that's, I think that is what this is. This is probably longer than 2 inches. Let's see. Yes, it is longer than 2 inches. And how wide did I say? Wide, 3/4 inch wide. This is probably 3/4 inch wide. So this is, the width is right, the length is too long, but it can be cut. So this is what it's calling for, but just a little bit shorter. So anyway, those are the things that you need. Hi, Dorothy. Hi, Shamir. So Dorothy says she's making a button-up shirt this weekend. Maybe use a beige thread if I have it, because you really like the gold. I think I actually do have a beige thread. Let me see. I also have some pre-wound bobbins. Let me see. See, I feel like that might be, that's probably still too dark. Beige. I guess this is like beige. Yeah. Can you all see that? It's like a beige color. This is like this is also a metallic. So it's not as forgiving. But let me get the thread out, because I pulled out the turquoise. I did not pull out, but I do think you're right. I think the beige might be, I think this is the beige. So Ganelle said, I am making a cart high chair cover for my grandson. Okay. I love that. I love that. Yep. Look at you, Dorothy. That is the right color right there. Okay, so if we go with gold, this is the combo that we're using for gold. I gotta wind a bobbin because I only have a little bit. So if y'all go with gold, drop it in the chat if you like gold. Or, and let me show you the fabric again. And then of course this is the turquoise that we would use. And I actually think I might have a lighter. I almost feel like this is better. Darker is better. So this will be the bias tape that we use if we use the turquoise. And here is the fabric. You can see that. And this. Oh, let me turn this over so you can see this gold. Can you see the gold? Can y'all see that? So it's going to be either one of these. This is the, and on top of that, let me just tell you, I do have I probably should have did this without the contrast, but I do have a contrast. So it's going to also have this. So it might be a lot going on, but we're going to go with it. This is what I cut out. So here is the picture of the options. We either doing turquoise thread, turquoise bias tape, or gold bias tape with this beige color thread. So drop it in chat what you think is the best color combo. There are no wrong answers here. It is just the majority rules, and that's what we're going with. Yes, I got that from Wawag. I actually, let me tell you something. I bought this thread. This was, I don't know how many. Let me see. Does it say on here? It's Gutermann 100, and it is like 1,000,000. I don't know how many came in here, but I've had this for like 2 years, maybe. And the only thing I've had to rebuy is the black. That's it. I haven't rebought anything else. And there's some missing out of here, probably in, I don't know, somewhere when I'm cleaning up. Who knows? But yeah, I love it. It was one of my best purchases because I literally almost can find some thread for almost a color to match almost everything I do. Almost everything. All right. Okay. So again, for those that might have missed it, we are making the mug cover because March is all about, we're doing crafts and things. So I'm going to post it on Instagram. I usually post like at the beginning of the month, like all the things I'm doing all month. But I do have them. If you click the link in my bio, if you're on TikTok, and if you're on Instagram, if you click the link in my bio, you will see all of the March patterns. And then, of course, on YouTube, I already have them under live. You will see that there are future lives that we have already have them posted. But we're going to be doing all kinds of crafts this month, just taking a little bit of a break from doing garments. And so this month we're making this cover. And I'm making this for my daughter because she's working from home and she needs something to put all her desk stuff in. So that is what we are doing. Let me just put my phone on Do Not Disturb because this has become the popular time to call me. And before it happens, let me just snip it in the bud. You said now you got to get this thread. I'm telling you, it was worth every penny to get that thread because I've had it for years and and it's a pretty good thread and it's wild wax. So it's not as expensive as if you were to buy thread, you know, from Joann's, which I guess you're not going to be able to even do anymore once they are closed, but it definitely was a deal. All right, here we go. We're going to get started. Thank y'all all for hopping on. Okay, now I want to see that high chair cover because let me tell you something. My grandson needs a high chair cover. Are you making it from scratch or are you using a pattern to make it? Let me know. All right, so I think we are going to make the cover A. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've been trying to figure out all the differences between the covers. I will tell you that cover A looks like it has a little bit less bias tape around the edges than, let's say, a cover E, which has it at the top right here, as well as around the bottom. And then also it looks like E has some mesh in the front as opposed to like these other ones are using a contrasting fabric instead of mesh. That's really the only difference I can tell. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't really tell much difference. Maybe, oh yeah, then D is everything is the same color. So this is all blue, whereas some of these have different colors throughout of the fabrics, like the front piece is different. So I will tell you, I did cut out all 3 pattern pieces, but A only calls for 2. So we'll see. We're gonna see how it goes. All right, so step 1 is that we are going to transfer all of our markings. So you're not going to be able to see this all the way, but I have, well, let me just show you on here. I have transferred my markings onto the right side of my fabric. So I have these lines right here. I've transferred these lines. I've transferred this line across. I've transferred all these lines. So step 1 is basically that you are going to be transferring all of these lines onto your pattern pieces. So you have lines that you need to transfer on pattern piece 1, 2, and 3. And then step number 2 is with the wrong sides together, you are going to pin the mug base front to the mug base back, and you're going to sandwich in the batting in between, having all the raw edges even, and then we're going to do a base of a 1/4 all around the raw edges. So the instructions do tell us that, you know, you're either going to, depending on which pattern that you use, which option that you do, A, B, C, D, or E, you will either have 2 of the same, which is what it calls for an A, or you're going to have one like this, and then you're going to have a contrasting one that's going to be different. They basically are telling you that one of these is going to be referred to as base front, and then the other one is going to be referred to as base back. So it's just something for you to be aware of if you are following or you decide to make this later. That is what the instructions tell us. Okay, so I'm putting one on one side and one on the other. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, it says with wrong sides together. Okay, so let me make sure I do wrong sides together. So I'm putting, this is my wrong side. Okay, yes, wrong sides together. Let's see. Okay, so that was right what I was doing. So I'm putting it, pin the base front to the back. Wrong sides together. Okay, that would be this way. Yes. The opposite of what we normally do, right sides together. So this is how it's going to look. Boom, boom. Wrong sides together, batting in the middle. This is my batting, and this is my base front and my base back. Line up all the raw edges, which I'm going to spend a little bit of time just making sure they're all lined up. I pressed this out just to make sure they could all be lined up. So I should take my time and make sure that they are lined up, because at one point they were all lined up. So I'm going to do that. Just take a second. All right, and I'm taking this side and putting this on top. So basically, all right, so this is basically what it's going to look like. Your right sides are going to be facing outward on both sides. And I'm just going to use some clips, just to, actually some pins, to clip this in place before I stitch it 1/4 of an inch all the way around, a basting stitch. And that's really just to hold all these pieces in place. And since this basting stitch is going to be removed, it doesn't really matter what color thread I'm using. So I'm not going to change out my black thread that I have in here right now, because I'm doing a basting stitch. And when I do my basting stitch, I usually do mine on 5.0 length. All right, so I just put some pins in, like 5 or 6, to just hold all these pieces together. This is what it looks like. And now I am literally going to baste all around the raw edges, all the way around. And let me just see. With wrong sides together, pin mug base front to mug base back, sandwiching in the batting, having raw edges even, based 1/4 from the raw edges. If you prefer quilt fabric in any design, desirable design, but do not stitch along the stitch lines at this time. Okay, well, we won't be doing that. We are going to be just stitching with our base stitch all the way around. And I'm going to move all these things around. All right. And I get my... So now I know a lot of people are attending the So Much Talent retreat this weekend. This is one of 3 that they are having, all sold out. So that is awesome. So again, this basting stitch is 1/4 of an inch from the edge. Hey RVBs, how are you? Happy Friday. I might end up making another one of these for my son. I have some all black. He works from home too. And I haven't seen his desk, so I don't know what his desk looks like. But I would imagine that he probably needs a place to put his stuff. I'm doing good. I cannot complain. I'm going into this weekend feeling great, relaxed. I accomplished a lot during the week, so I feel good about that. I'm excited to see how this is going to actually turn out. When I saw it, I was like, you know what? I buy all these crafting patterns thinking, oh, I'm going to make this, I'm going to make that. And then I honestly haven't sewn any of them. So I was like, this is my chance to kind of sew something crafty because I haven't been doing any. So I'm also just stretching this out too, just to make sure it doesn't, even though I have it pinned, I don't want it to be like wavy in the middle. So I'm trying to also stretch it out as I sew it together. All right, there we go. So I have to take these pins out. And you can't really see it, but this is what it looks like on either side, where I have done a basting stitch all the way. All right, okay. So now it is telling us to, on the base back side, encase the straight edge with double fold bias tape. And so that's where we have the bias tape. And let me see, did anybody else vote on the bias tape? So Dorothy, you said use the gold. And let me just see if anybody else on TikTok made any recommendations of what to use. Hi, Janine. Okay, it doesn't look like, let me just see. Okay, it looks like you are going to win, Janine. We are going to go with the gold. So let me just get my scissors. Get my scissors, and I'm just going to kind of cut this so that it is even all the way around. So when I put the bias tape on, there will not be any issues So it's just like a little piece. Nothing major. And then I'm gonna cut this piece too. All right. And oh, another little piece over here. Have y'all been keeping up with, and I'm not a big, TV person, but there's been a couple of things I've been watching. One is the Beyond the Gates, the black soap opera that just started. I asked y'all, I think last week, if y'all been watching it, and maybe there was one person that had been watching it. So hopefully y'all had a chance to check it out because I think it's really good. I really like it. If you like soap operas, I think you will like it. If you're not a soap opera person, it'll be different and you may or may not like it. But because it is a soap opera, written like a soap opera. Dorothy, you say crafts can be addicting. Well, we're gonna be making them all month, so let's see what happens. I have a lot of craft patterns that I have not touched. Well, crafts and things. So we're making not just crafts, we're gonna make some other things too. Okay, so I now have my bias tape. I now have this all cut even all the way around, just cut off the little excess. And now I'm just going to switch out my bobbin and my thread. I had black in there, my favorite color. That's why I always run out not run out, but always have to buy more because I am constantly using black. That's like my universal. All right, so let me take out this. This is one I have like a little bit on. I think this is the same color that it is. So I'm gonna use take this out. I think it's gonna be really cute. I'm excited to see how it all comes out, see how the gold complements it, because there is gold in the contrasting fabric and in the main fabric, so it should pair up well. Oh, here it is. I was like, where's my bobbin? Here we go. Oop. So yeah, if y'all haven't had a chance to check out Beyond the Gates, definitely check it out. I think you will really like it a lot. Oh, so the other thing I was going to ask y'all about is, hey Dee, how are you? I was going to ask you all if you have been watching Love is Blind. The reunion is supposed to come on Sunday, I think. Yeah, I think Sunday. So those are the two things that I have been watching a little bit of. And I think I'm just like a romantic person. I love to see people fall in love. But I really can't wait to see it because there are a couple people in there. I'm just like, I want to see how it all, I want to hear the behind the scenes story. That Dave person, he's one of them. I did not like him. But we'll see. Everybody's human, so we will see. All right. All right, so we got our bobbin done. We get ready to thread our finish threading our machine. And we're going to put on our bias. I'm doing great, Dee. I'm doing great. I cannot complain. I was just saying how we're doing arts and crafts this month. As a little switch up, y'all know I'm not usually doing arts and crafts, but I have a lot of artsy, crafty kind of patterns. So I was like, you know what? As a break, we're gonna do and to get rid of some of these scraps that I have where I have like bigger pieces. We're gonna do some crafts. And this is definitely something you could do. Like I said, this was was this? I don't even think this was a full fat quarter. I think it was just a piece, but it doesn't take a lot at all. Okay, so let me see. This, let me see something. So they do, on this pattern, they actually do tell you how to apply the bias tape. It does call for double folded bias tape. So it tells you how to put it on. And the only thing I want to see is, because I think we are covering all the ends. So I just want to see if I need to do something special for the ends. Okay, well, I'm just going to read this to anybody who might be adding it and has never done bias tape, double folded bias tape. So double folded bias tape is bias tape that basically is double folded. Both of the raw edges are in the center, and then you have finished edges on either end of the of the fold, or both of these are finished. One is slightly longer, slightly longer than the other. And so what it tells you is that, and I actually didn't know this, I guess maybe I didn't have this problem, but I wonder if it's all like that. Let me look at this one. So it says one is slightly longer than the other. It is. Okay, maybe that's why it always works that way. Okay, so I don't know, because I've never read instructions for how to do bias tape before. I don't know how I learned how to do it. Somebody told me. So it says that the pre-folded bias tape, there's one that's slightly wider than the other, which it is. If you look at it, you'll see that this one side sticks out a little bit further. The wider side is to be used on the wrong side of the garment, so that when the tape is stitched in place from the right side, both edges are sure to be caught in the stitching. And so we are going to say that this is the end. Well, let me actually know which one is the inside. This is the inside. So we're putting the wider piece. So we're going to open it out, and the wider piece. And I'm leaving a little bit of excess at the top too, because that way I can fold it in and have a finished edge with no raw edge to it, just in case. And if I don't need it, I can cut it off. So what I am going to do is I'm going to use my clips. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use my pins here too. And I'm going to pin my bias tape all the way around. Again, that wider edge is I'm lining the raw edges up. So this is how I'm opening the fold, and I'm taking the raw edge of the wider edge, and I am lining it up with the raw edge. And let me just see what it says here. It says, let's see. The wider side is to be used on the wrong side of the garment, so that when the tape is stitched in place from the right side, both sides are to be caught in the stitching. Yeah, so it doesn't really tell you all the things that you need to do. It just kind of gives you that one little tip, because that's really all it says. So anyway, you're going to open it up. You're going to take that raw edge, and you're going to line it up with the raw edge. And I am just going to clip this. I probably should use clips, but yeah, I think I'm gonna use clips because what I don't want to do, because this is metallic, I'm worried that if I put holes in it, the holes will not, you'll be able to see them when it's all said and done. So I'm just going to use a clip. And again, I'm leaving a little bit of extra at the end. The pattern is McCall's M521. Okay, thank you. I'm going to look at that because my grandson does have a little high chair that's turned into a regular chair. And as you know, when they're in that terrible 2 age, everything, they feed the chair more than they feed themselves. So I would love to be able to make him. And my daughter just did his bed in, like, I think it's Batman. So I would love to be able to go find some Batman or at least the same color fabric and make his chair, the cover for his chair, to match that. So I'm going to go and see if I can find that on simplicity.com. That would be so cute. Hey, Common Police, how are you? You said my shirt has a message that you needed today. Yes. So this shirt is a good friend of mine, who is he's like a motivational speaker. Yeah, he designed this. It's F it, which means forgive it. So I was in that mood today. So I was like, yeah, let me put this on. This is perfect. So yes, I'm just going all the way around. So it does, and I don't know if this is going to work for this metallic, but it does give you a tip for how to deal with curves. It says to apply steam to the curved area before you apply it. Again, this is metallic, so I don't know that it has the same kind of flexibility, but we might apply some steam to it when it's all said and done. I'm gonna get it like a little cover. Oh, hi, how are you? Thank you for tapping in or tuning in. So we are making, I can show you what we're making. We're making a mug cover. So we usually make garments, but this month we are making crafts and things just to give a little break from the garments. Hi, Monica. So yeah, so we are right now in the process of applying this bias tape all the way around. I'm clipping it in place because we're using this metallic bias tape, and I thought the pins might put holes in it that will be permanent. So I was like, let me not take any chances. I'm just going to clip it around. Monica, what are you sewing this weekend? Now this is the part that's going to be a little tricky. All right, I think I'm going to sew all this on and then let me see. Okay, maybe I could just do like this. There we go. You said I just got off live. I saw that you were on and I wanted to say hi. I'm about to rest with the hubby. Okay, well, enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Fridays are definitely the wind down day. That's why I'm always so appreciative when y'all hop on a Friday. And this feels like it's been a longer than usual week for me anyway. All right. So I feel like I'm going to cut this bias tape right here. Move this over to the side. So I have my bias tape, raw edge to raw edge, pinned all the way around. And now I'm going to sew one edge on. And again, I'm going to fold it all the way out. And I'm just going to sew all the way around, attaching the bias tape. So let me just put this right here so it can be out of my way. You say you had whole, say, I'm so glad to see you use, you said you made the mistake of pens. Yeah, I started using pens and then I was like, I was going to use pens and I thought, I could see already that using a pen on this is going to be a mistake. So thank you for confirming that was going to be a mistake. So this is my first time ever really sewing with this metallic bias tape. So we'll see how it all works out. And I'm just taking my time and going all the way around the perimeter of this. And it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you, how you sew this initial part on the bias tape because it's going to be covered. Well, it's going to be on the inside. So not that it doesn't matter at all, but it's not going to matter as much because it's going to be covered from the outside. So when you sew it back on again from the outside, that's when it actually matters the most. But this first step of sewing on the bias tape is not going to matter. All right. And the only other thing, oh man, you know what? I just realized that I did not reset my width, but we will. So I'm still there we go. I'm just going to put it like that. And again, I'm just making sure that it is staying lined up with my raw edge. The raw edges are staying all lined up. You saw, and the metallic piping, it took me a few tries. Yeah, you know what? So the good news is that I don't know what made me buy this gold, but I have a couple packs of it and I've never used it. But if I like it, I'm definitely going to find a way because I do like bias tape. All right, here we go. So we're going around this first curve and we're just going to take our time a little bit. And I have, you know what, piping is actually another thing that I really do want to try. Um, it's something that I haven't done as much. I haven't done really at all. I shouldn't say as much, but I do want to do it. I actually do like it, and I want to do it. I know it doesn't feel like it's that, maybe more time consuming than it is difficult. Um, so I want to try to incorporate it into something. And then who knows, when I have extra time, I could just decide I'm going to add it to things. All right, we are like 3/4 of the way. Okay, it says if you have any 1/8 inch double sticky tape, say less. I do, and I do. Try it for the backside. I use it for handbags. Okay, I do have it. Let me tell you, I use that 1/8 inch double sticky tape to put zippers in all day long. It's like one of my favorite things. Okay, look at you with all the tips. I love it. Thank you. Okay, the gold is definitely a great choice because I feel like it is going to be, I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling really good about it. So let's see. And I also feel like the color that we went with for the thread also was a great option. I'm feeling good about that as well. Oops. You say you jealous of my windows. Thank you. All right, so all right. So we've gotten the bias tape all the way around. And now here is the part that we are going to do. We're flipping it over so that we can now stitch. And I might have to cut some of my fabric just to make this lay perfectly. But the goal is so that it will flip over and lay. So like on this side, it lays perfect. Now the only thing I need to do is I need to figure out how am I going to close this end. That's the part I've got to figure out. How am I going to close this end? Let's see. All right, there we go. You said hospital corners. Let me see if I can, like miter corners. I think that's what you're trying to tell me. Which I have never done on my bias tape. Because I usually do like a circle. I've never had to do like a square. So it's usually I just do a fold. All right, I am going to have to clip the edges down just a little bit so that they fit within. Because right now they're not. They're too wide. Thank you. Okay, so let me cut this down just a teeny tiny bit all the way around. It's not going to be that much, but it's going to be enough to where it lays. You know what? If I cut it, it's going to cut my thing. So let me see. Hold on. So the other thing I'm realizing about this, okay, I see what you're saying like that. Can you see that? I think it's what? On this edge. All right, I'm going to use my clip and clip this so that it stays. And then I'm just going, oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, I see exactly what you're saying. That looks great. Okay. So now I'm just using my clips again to clip this down so that it stays down. So when I start sewing, because this will be the important part. Once I start sewing this, it's going to need to be all in place so that I don't have any problems. I do want to cut this down a little bit. Even though it's going to be cutting my all right, that should be, I should allow that to flip over. Okay. All right, that looks good. Look at that. You can't really see it all the way, but that's looking so good. All right, before I cut that, let me just see what this is going to look like. And now I see why they're like, use the iron, because it will help these corners like lay. It'll give them like a little extra stretch. But I don't know about this metallic. I'll have to get some cloth, but it's working. I think I'll be able to work with it. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good about this. Now, let me just make sure. Now look at this. It looks like they only want us to put the bias tape around the top. So this is what happens when you don't read it all. You just do it ahead. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm so sad I did all this because I spent all this time trying to get this down here. And now because reading is fundamental, it is telling us to just do the bias tape just across this top part as the first step. And then we do have to end up actually folding this down this way. So before we do the bias tape all the way around, you are just supposed to do it across the top first. And then at a later step, you will be doing it all the way around. So yes, that's what we get ready to do. This is how you take a 20-minute project and you make it into an hour project when you don't read it. But at least we know. At least we have a feel for how it's going to be. And yeah. So where is my, okay, here we go. You said sometimes you don't read it all. Thank you. That made me feel so much better. I appreciate you for that. I really do. All right. So I'm going to take, and the good news is that I did not do I didn't do a basting stitch, but I didn't also do like a regular small stitch. So it shouldn't be that difficult to take this out. But I'm so sad because I literally sewed this on so well. And I cut down some, even though it was only a little bit, but still. I'm mad I cut some of my extra thing off, only to have to. But it is what it is. It happens to the best of us, right? I'm sad. Hey, hi Sebs. How are you? I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Oh yeah, look at that. Well, we'll see if we're gonna be able to use this. We might not be able to use this metallic again because it does not like to be sewn in and taken out. It says it is not here for that. It is not here for that. But we'll see. We will see how it goes. So, how do I pronounce, what do I call you? What do you prefer to be called? Let's see. Tai Pao? Phonetically tell me how to say it or what I should say. I wanted to ask you, so when you use gold metallic, what color thread do you use? One of our, let me see, who was it? It was Dorothy had suggested that we use a, what color did you say, Dorothy? Like a beige, and it is working. I mean, it's better than the color I was going to use, which was a yellow. The beige is like perfect. Is that what you use too? Tie. Okay. So Ty, do you use, when you do metallics, are you using like a beige also? Sabs, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. We are doing crafts. You know, I'm usually doing garments, but this month we are doing crafts and things this month. So I was like, I got all these craft patterns. Let's try to see what we could do with them. And on top of that, after spending 5 hours with y'all next Friday, I figured y'all didn't want to see me for 5 hours again this Friday. So I was like, yeah, we're going to do something what I thought might be a little bit quicker. Well, it better be a little bit quicker, but at this rate, if I don't start reading, we're going to be here all night. Sabs, are you sewing anything? I use it if I don't have the right color when I'm quilting with gold fabric as well. Okay, okay. Yeah, I definitely don't have any gold thread. I've never seen gold thread, but Dorothy has suggested this beige, and it's actually, I mean, it's the right color. It's the right complementary color for this gold. So This is my first time sewing with this metallic, gold metallic, so I wasn't really sure. And I'm glad we went with the gold because I was actually going leaning towards the turquoise because it was like the safe choice. But I do like the gold. I think it was the right choice. I'm so glad Dorothy had picked it because it was the right choice. You say you just chilling tonight. Okay. I hear that. Nothing wrong with just chilling. That self-care is the best care. That's my motto. Self-care is the best care. Because if you don't take care of you, who will? Who will? Okay. All right. So now let's get back to the instructions. There is a gold thread, but it can break easily. Oh, really easily. Okay. I tried gold thread once with a gold bias tape and it was not smart of me. It didn't match at all. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, this, I don't know if you could see this, but that beige, this is the beige color that Dorothy had picked. You can't even tell. It goes so well. It was a perfect color. Okay. So let's see. All right. So here's our bias tape. I'm gonna cut this at the end. And it doesn't matter because that the raw edges are going to be even because we are going to, it's going to be covered so I can cut it literally right at the end. So I'm going to put this over here. All right, and now we have the one side already on. So all I have to do is just bring this over and just fold this other side. Sew the other side on. So this is the actual top stitch, and I'm going to use my edge foot. And once it's all sewn on, it'll look like this. So I'm just going to use some clips to just hold it in place. And I'm doing a narrow stitch right at the top. No, wrong way. You say you have fat fingers tonight. Beautiful, you mean? Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sebs. Oh yeah, this was, thank you, Dorothy. She was spot on with this color thread. It's blending so well. And let me just pull this over. All right, here we go. And there we go. It is on there. The thread is matching perfectly. This is the inside and this is the outside. So here we go. First part on. All right, next thing it's telling us is it says turn the straight edge to baste front along the fold line, having the raw edges even, and baste 1/4 from the raw edge. So I wonder when they're going to have us actually, okay, so it's telling us basically there is a fold line. You can't really see it, but it's right here. So it's telling us to fold down on this fold line, which will be right here, like this. And it's telling us to stitch the upper edge along the stitch lines through all the thickness, forming the inside pocket of the mug cover. So it is telling us to stitch down here, stitch, and then you have all these lines that you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, I think is what it is. It's telling us to stitch them down. Yes, okay. So I'm about to stitch down the side, and then stitch all of my stitch lines through all of the fabric. And let me just put it like that. And do I stitch across the fold line? No, it did not tell us to stitch across the fold line, but let me just, it says, nope. It just says turn the straight edge to baste front along the fold line, having the raw edges even, and then baste 1/4 from the raw edge, and then stitch the upper edge along the stitch lines through all the thickness. So here it is. Okay, so it's telling us to fold this way, because the fold line is here, and then it's telling us to fold it this way, and then just stitch, base stitch on either side, and then stitch through all the layers along the stitch lines. But there are also stitch lines down the bottom too, so, but it hasn't told us to stitch through those yet. So nope, you do not need to stitch across this fold line. All right, so I am just doing this basting stitch here. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And now I'm going to go back to my 2.5 stitch length, sorry, I keep saying width, and I'm going to stitch just down each one of these stitch lines. And there's 5 of them, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, there are 5 of them. And I can see them much better when I have them. So I wonder if hopefully I don't regret not changing my part of me feels like I should probably change, but let's see. And okay, I am going through. Okay, 1 down, 4 to go. All right, 2 down, 3 to go. Oh, this is what I was going to say about Love is Blind too. Forgot to mention this earlier, but this is the first time where I think only one of the couples got married. Of all the couples, I was shocked by that. I was shocked. The only thing I don't get about Love is Blind is that part of me feels like people already know they're not going to say yes to those people. And I just feel like if you really do love somebody, how can you let them bring all their family and stuff up there and not tell them ahead of time? That's like, I can't even, that's got to be traumatizing to me. I don't know. It just seems like, I think there are more chances where people actually do know than they don't. You know, I'm not saying there are people that don't really know until the last minute, but I think a lot of people do know. And I just think, you can't love somebody and let them bring their whole family. Yeah. Anyway, there's that. Okay, so here we put all the lines in. The colors are going well. This could be for like pens, scissors, whatever you want to use it for. But we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little pockets that are right here for you to put stuff in. You know, I don't know. This scissors is probably too big, but you get my drift. Okay, so we've done that. And let's see. Now we are pulling out this piece, which is, I think this is piece number 3 right here. And it is telling us fold the half pocket. Is this a half pocket? So this is pocket. Nope. So it's this pocket. Okay. So remember I told you I had a contrasting fabric. Here is my contrasting fabric right here. So this is our pocket that we are using, and it is telling us to take out this pocket, and it is telling us to fold the pocket in half along the fold line with wrong sides facing. So this is the fold line. If you could see that line right there in the middle, it's telling us to fold it in half. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to do a little finger press. All right, there we go. So it's folded in half. And it is telling us to baste together around the raw edge all the way around here, 1/4 of an inch from the end. So we're going to do that. And again, I'm going to just clip this around just so it could all stay together. Yeah, I think that gold is going to really bring out the gold. The gold bias tape is going to bring out the gold in this too. All right. Baste 1/4 inch from the raw edge. You said for me, it will be crochet hooks. So you want to make one now? You know what? You just reminded me. Like I started crocheting just a little bit, like around Christmas, and I bought all those Weeble bags. Now I bought probably like 4 or 5 of them, but I finished one and I started like the Barbie. Where I get my fabrics. So these fabrics came from Joann's. These were some fat quarters that I had bought a couple years ago. But I get my fabrics, a lot of my fabrics I get from Fabric Wholesale Direct, which is online fabric. And then when I go to like the sewing retreats or Frocktails, a lot of times, you know, as part of the Frocktails, they will have like, let's visit the local fabric stores. So I've gotten fabric, I've shipped fabric home from like Chicago Frocktails when I went there, or Atlanta, I brought fabric when I went there. I'm trying to think when I went to Miami that I buy fabric. But I would say my main place, you know, Joann's was a place that I would go like if I needed fabric like last minute. But Fabric Wholesale Direct is, and they are www.fabrichwholesaledirect. And then Afrique Fabrics, I think, is where I've gotten some African fabric. And then not Gail. Oh Lord, what's this woman's name? No, I can't think of her name now. Another one of our ladies from Black Sewing Network also has like a African fabric store as well, and I've gotten fabric from her. And I'm trying to think, oh my goodness, what's her fabric store? I can't think of it. It'll come to me before we get off. But yes, FWD, yes, Fabric Wholesale Direct is my jam, and I've gotten a lot of fabric from them, a lot. They are definitely my jam. All right, so look at this. We put a nice little basting stitch all the way around the raw edges, and so now it is telling us to. So View A has us use this thing, stitch on this thing called Rick Rack. And it's like, have you ever seen that? I had no idea what it was, but once I figured out what it was, I was realizing that's not for me. I don't like it. So have you ever seen that like wiggly, what do you call it? Like a trim, like the little wiggly trim. Like that's what this is. It's like that little wiggly trim that goes like this up and down. Yeah, I was like, I'm not putting that on. It says it's optional. So this is where you would literally put it on if you were going to put it on. But what we are going to do is we're going to put the gold bias tape on. Yes, we are. We are putting it on here. So let me just see if this piece will fit on here. The piece that we already kind of stitched up a little bit, just so it doesn't go to waste. Yes, it fits. Okay, so we're going to put this on. Yes, Rick Rack. Look at you. You know all the things. You need to be up here. So yeah, so Rick Rack is what it is called. Your Zesty Couture. Look, y'all are coming through for me. Thank y'all, because y'all know I'm going through perimenopause and I got the brain fog. It is real. So I appreciate all y'all coming through. You say you think that's what it, you think that's what the wavy wiggly. Yes, the wavy wiggly, you know, trim, Rick Rack. That's exactly right. That's what it calls for. That's that wavy trim. And I was like, when I looked it up and I realized what it was, I was like, that's not for me. I will not be adding that. Even though I'm giving this away, I was like, I know my daughter, and that's not for her either. So we are skipping that. But if you like that wavy trim, which could be fine for anybody that does like it, you would put it on right now as basically decorative. Wherever you would like to see it, you would put it on. Ty, you say, yeah, I'm in year 3 of menopause. Girl, nobody told me. But anyway, here I am, making the best of it. So you asked me about my fabric, and RF Beads, who is like a godsend, reminded me that Zesty Couture is one of our soul sisters who has a fabric store, African fabric store. So I do get it from the Afrique, I think it's called Afrique Fabrics. They're online. But I also get it from our soul sister, Grace Sabs. You look, I love y'all. Y'all are just so awesome. Y'all are helping me out. Zesty Couture is her fabric store. So she sells African fabrics as well. So, yes. Okay, so I am now putting on this piece of bias tape. I'm loving the gold up to this black. It's doing all the things that we wanted to do, like bringing out the gold in this black. Hi, Miss Tata. How are you? How are you doing? Happy Friday. Are you relaxing this weekend or are you sewing? And I looked at my inbox last week and I didn't see anything that you sent me. You say you sent me something and I didn't see it. Miss Tata, I know this is right up your alley, what I'm making. You said there's a fabulous African fabric shop in New York. My neighbor brought some to make her a handbag. Oh, really? See, I know New York, that's another place that I've gotten fabric from. But as you know, there's like a million fabric places in New York. Trim places, like they got everything. But I have made a deal with myself that I was not going to buy a lot of fabric. So I went from any more to a lot until I get all these cabinets up here. These two back here full of fabric, except for there's two drawers at the top that have nothing but patterns in it. Everything else is fabric. And then I have another one of these back here over here. And that has all fabric at the top. Oh, except for like the bottom. The top has fabric, the middle doesn't. And then those three drawers all have fabric. And I was like, I got to get rid of this fabric. By get rid of it, I mean use it. And that's why you see me using a lot of this. So I'm like, I can't buy any more fabric. But it was so, when I first started sewing, I was addicted. I was buying fabric left, right, and center. Oh, you say you sent it to Nikki and asked her to send it to me. Okay. Well, let me look and see if I got something from her. Because I have so many unread messages on TikTok. So I didn't look for her message. So she might have sent it to me and I'm going to look for it. I mean, I'm sure she sent it to me. So I will look for it. You said, now I wish we were neighbors. You say you are in Minnesota, right? Or Missouri. Okay. In the middle of Missouri where you have no fabric store. So you definitely ordering online. I don't know. You know what? You make me think about like how many people will now be going to online now that there is like literally there's no Joann's. Joann's was for a lot of people their only fabric store. I mean, I guess I'm in Maryland and we do have other fabric places, but it's not like as plentiful as what we had in Joann's. Like, I mean, the locations. We have multiple Joann's in Maryland, like lots, like everywhere. Let me. All right, now I'm sewing on the bias tape. I'm using my edge foot to make sure I can stay like, where I need to be. You said your Joann's closed last April. See, yeah, look, you're the perfect example of like how you go from having a place, even if it's not close, just even having a place that you could, if you wanted to, drive to having no place at all. So we about to be in the same boat as you. Like, because sometimes you want to sew something and that's mainly when I would go to Joann's. When I needed something that day. And I was like, I need this, you know. And now it's like, well, I'm a really, and I like to plan in advance. So, but I'm going to really have to make sure. Like, I got everything I need. Because if I don't, I got to order it. All right. What's happening here? Is this not someone? Okay, it is. All right. I was like, what's happening? You say your husband just got home from Maryland. Yes, our beloved Maryland, where we love. We love so much over here. Even though it's been cold, probably not as cold as Missouri, but it's been cold here. We had like a cold day, a warm day. It got up to like 60 and then it got cold again. It's cold right now. Let me see. Well, actually, it's not. It's in the 50s right now. The weather is all over the place. And we still got what? Another 2 weeks before the end of winter. So how long have you been sewing, Ty? Because you sound like you know all the things. And what's your favorite thing to sew? Are you like making garments or bags? All right, I'm just going around this curve. And then we're going to be done. Oh, okay. All right, so here we have sewn this on, and now I am. Look, it's a small world. Like, how often would I have two people from Missouri on at the same time? That almost never happens. All right, I'm going to cut this just a little teeny bit. So that it will lay flat. And we're going to cut it a little bit more. All right, that should be perfect. Yep, there we go. All right, I'm just flipping this now so I can put my top stitch in. All right, let me just trimming this all down a little bit more. I know. Look at y'all. Y'all done made friends. Look at that. I love that. I have a little connection to St. Louis too. In a couple months, I'm going to be just flying through there. I'm not. It's like I got a layover. I'm flying there to get to Springfield, Illinois, because I can't get a direct flight from to Springfield, Illinois. So it's closer than Chicago to Springfield, believe it or not. Chicago is like 3 hours away. St. Louis is like an hour and a half away from Springfield. So I'm stopping through briefly. Just a brief. Oh yeah, this is going to be so nice. I'm going to show y'all this when I get it all clipped down. Okay, look at this. All right, we are almost. Oh yeah, definitely. Thank him for his service. Yeah, my father was a Army vet. He passed a couple years ago. So yeah, definitely thank him for his service. We appreciate it. We love our veterans. Over here, we do. My family is full of veterans. Army, Navy, everything but the Marines. Okay, look at that, look at that, look at that. Look at what we have done. I'm just going to cut this little piece right here. And we're going to do our top stitch to stitch this on. Thank you, Dorothy. All right. All right, so I am now going to use my edge foot to do a top stitch. And these curves, boy, they are something else. You got to make this really lay down. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's awesome. He did. You know what? I don't know that I've ever met anybody who did two different branches of. That is awesome. Okay, so what I am working on now is literally putting this top stitch in. at us. We making so many connections. You said there's a funny story why he switched. Look, it's just even interesting just knowing. Wow. I would love to hear it one day. He probably like, you better not be out here in the world telling my business. All right, we are 3/4 of the way done. I realize at some point that I am going to have to take out my stitch, my original stitch to my bias tape, because you can see it, but it's okay. It's all good. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'm going to do it before I give it to my daughter. Okay. You said he's sitting right here laughing at you. Tell him you made some new friends. Okay, so look at that. This is what it's looking like. Not bad, right? Not bad, not bad, not bad. Okay, I see I have a little teeny gap here. We're going to go around this curve. These curves is just really, they are not doing me right. So I gotta. All right, I think, there we go. That is, it's like I missed a little piece. So y'all can see what I mean. Like I have to take this piece, this little thread out, because it did not get covered by the bias tape. So it has to come out, and I will be taking it out, but not on live. We're going to do it after the fact. He said he wanted to be a commissioned officer, and the Navy lost his papers. So when he resubmitted, his age was past limit. So his Army buddy said he could get him in. So I know that's right. Look, that's what friends are for. I love that for him. And they lost his dang on paperwork. That's okay. You know what? He was where he was supposed to be. That's how it was supposed to work out. Okay. Dorothy, you hit the nail on the head with this beige thread, because it's hiding all my mistakes. You cannot see them. All right. Look at that. That looks so good. You're not even able to tell how good it looks, but it looks really good. Okay, so we have finished that. And now we are going to, let's see, what are we doing? We did that. Okay, so now it's telling us for all the views. But when are we putting this on? Pleat in pocket can go in 2 different directions. Okay, so where's our, okay, here we go. So that's this. So now I think it's telling us to pleat it. Let me open this and I think I need to be plugging in my iron. So that we can do some pleats. Press these pleats in. And let me get some water. All right, so we're gonna put some, let's see. Thank you, Dorothy. All right. I'm gonna put this over here. Oops, I'm making a mess. Pulling out my little iron that y'all know I love so much, my Liso iron. I love that this thing has steam. I mean, it just is like the best. All right, so we're going to turn this on. And while we're waiting for that to heat up, we're going to read our instructions. And it tells us to put the pleats in the pocket. It said it can go into 2 different directions. To make the pleats, fold along one solid line and bring the next fold to the next solid line and then pin it. And then it says baste across the lower edge, trim away any excess. And press the pleats in place. All right, so we're gonna make the pleats. I feel like, well, I guess we couldn't make the pleats first. Okay, so, and this is the crazy part because, so this is actually not the part that we're gonna be pleating. We're gonna be pleating this piece. I think this is what we're pleating, this piece. But it says pocket E. This is the one that has the pleats on it. And let me just look at this one. Oh, this one did have pleats too. All right, well, let's not do this one. This says for E only, and we're making A. So I guess I must have covered up my little pleat lines with the bias tape. I must have covered them. But anyway, we're going to mark them back again. That's crazy. Are they fully covered? I guess they are. All right, well, we're going to put another little mark on here really quick. I guess I did not make the lines high enough. So we're going to do this really quick so we can know where to fold these. You said fold and find the center point and go from there. Well, you know what? I do have the center because there is it says my stitch line is right there. And then, well, I'm just going to make this little mark. It's going to take me 2 seconds. I'm just mad that I didn't make the lines high enough. That I did all that work. For what? For what? Okay, here we go. Boom, boom. All right, there we go. The pleat marks are there. And then it says does the pattern piece have the marks? Yes, the pattern piece does have the mark. And you know what it is? It's like the way that they did it is they had these long lines and then they had these short lines. So I must have just done the short lines like right there and it got covered by the bias tape. That's what ended up happening. So I just drew them on really quick again. And we're going to use that as our basis. So it says take the fold along one solid line and bring fold next to fold along one solid line and bring fold to next solid. So it must be like this. I'm assuming this is what it is. One solid line to the next solid line. If this is not it, we're going to make it. It's going to be it for today. One solid line to the next. But it's crazy because it's covering up I don't know, we'll see. But it looks like it's supposed to be, you're supposed to be able to see my stitch lines. All right, let's see. Because you can see my stitch line there. Okay. And then this solid line to here. 1. All right, there we go. I think I figured it out. Yes. Thank you, Ty. Okay, then this one to here. So it is working now that I figured out which solid line to which solid line. So in between, you have a stitch line and then 2 solid lines. And then you're taking 1 solid line and folding it over onto the next solid line. And then I'm just clipping it down. And then here we go. And I've got 2 more to do. And then 1 more. Here we go. And then I'm just going to put another little clip at the top too. Well, I guess I don't need to. I could just press it. I can just press it, and that should keep it all laying flat. Woo-wee. Don't burn my finger, and don't burn my bias tape. Okay, here we go. This is what it looks like, if you could see that. And those lines that you still see there, those are my stitch lines. All right, so let me move this out the way. I feel like that looks pretty good. Just gonna move that down there. All right, let's see, what is next? And then it's telling us that this goes yes, it goes down this bottom like this. This is where this is going to go. It's going to fit on this bottom, around this bottom curve. But it's telling us, let me see. That's interesting. I guess we're going to be doing this again. So before we actually stitch this on, we do need to do one thing, which is we need to add our Velcro strips. So remember, we have this, and this is how you are going to be able to. So I brought 2 mugs. I brought this mug, which is a big giant mug. I think it's like a 12-ounce mug, and then this I think is like an 8-ounce mug, something like that. It looks like this is fitting on. Well, let me see. Yeah, it's definitely not fitting on. It's fitting on a smaller mug because this is actually going to be folded and going on the inside. This top part goes on the inside, and then this is on the bottom. So this is how it's ultimately going to be fitting, and it's fitting on this smaller, like a regular size. This is a regular size mug. So I wasn't sure how big the mug would be. So it's a regular size mug. All right, okay. So we got to get our Velcro strip, and it's telling us to separate the hook and loop tape and base the center of each half of the hook and loop tape to base back over large dot, having raw edges even. Okay. And where is it doing it? So we're doing it actually on what looks like this piece. I think this is right. Yeah, this is supposed to go like that on the inside, right? So this is, now I just got to figure out how this is fitting on here. Separate the hook and loop tape. Base the center of each half of the hook and loop tape to baste back over large dots, sewing raw edges even. The part that is a little interesting to me is like this tape is sticky on one end. It would be for a mug exchange. I totally agree. It would be so cute. And imagine this, that you can put stuff inside of it already. Like it would make a cute gift. All right, so this Velcro piece, this is the part I'm a little bit stuck on, which is, it's telling me to take this off. So first of all, let me say you only need a 2-inch piece. So I would cut it like right here, because this is 3 inches. This whole thing is 3 inches and I only need, but the other end of this is sticky. So if I unstick it, it's just going to be, you know, the whole thing is going to be sticky. So it's not going to, one side is going to be, you know, kind of sticky and it's just going to be out there. So I need to figure that part out. Trying to think about how this is going to work, because so you put this on here and then you want this to be, oh, maybe it's you stick it together like this. Maybe it's like this. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to test it out so you all don't have to. All right, Miss Tata. Let me see. So I'm going to test this so you all don't have to. I'm going to take, let me cut this 2 inches, first of all. All right, so here's the 2-inch piece, and I am going to, I'm going to fold it in half. I don't know, it's not telling me to do this, but this is what I'm doing. I'm folding it in half and I'm going to stitch it right down. And there is actually a dot on your pattern piece. You know what? It's not on this piece. It's on the other piece. Here it is right here. But I wonder why, oh, you know what? Maybe it's on this piece. Here. Yep, it's on this piece. So there is a dot literally on this piece right here. And that is where you're supposed to stitch down these Velcro pieces. Now, okay, so I'm not going to put them on this piece. I am going to stitch it right onto this piece right here. And it's going to be sandwiched in between when I put that, when I sew this on top, it's going to be sandwiched in between there. So I'm just stitching this down now. Okay. All right, so here's one. I'm gonna put this other one. And the other one is going to be, where is it? Okay, here we go. This piece, which is the other side of the Velcro. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to cut it at 2. Cut it at 2 inches. And I'm just folding it in half. And then I'm going to stitch it down. And like I said, it will be sandwiched in between. Ooh. All right. See you when you get back, Ty. We should be done soon. I'm hoping. Okay, there we go. So we have our Velcro pieces on. So basically I cut the 2-inch pieces and I put one of the Velcro sides on one, and then I put it on the other of this piece. And now the piece that we already sewed already is going to go on top. So I am literally going to clip this on. And let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. All right. Oop. And I'm just clipping this down. All my clips are breaking. All right, this is what it looks like. I think I definitely should have done it all in this same fabric, but it's okay. Well, because this is actually going to be on the inside, so you're not going to see, I mean, it's not going to look as contrasting because this will be on the inside of the mug and this will be on the outside of the mug. So it'll be like this. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to stitch all the way around. And then the last thing that we have to do is actually put a piece of bias tape around this whole piece, which is interesting because I think that maybe we were, for view A, we were actually supposed to leave this off. For view E, we were putting this on, but that's okay because sometimes it happens like that, right? All right, so I'm sewing this down. And once I sew this down, thank you, Miss Tata. We're going to also sew in our stitch lines. And then we're going to put on our bias tape. And then we'll be done. Oh, wow, that was fast. All right. And now that we've sewn this down, the next thing we have to do is we have stitch lines that go down, and we have to sew those down. Okay, so I'm sewing down those lines right now. All right, one down. Next one. I definitely think I'm gonna make another one of these. Now that I know all the steps, it's actually not that difficult at all. Once you know everything you need to do. All right. And there's so many different styles that you can make. Like, so you got options. You got options. All right, here we go. We're down to the last little part. All right. It's my last stitch line. All right, here we go. So I don't know if you can see this, but let me put my finger in here and pull out all these. So if you can see that, there's some extra threads here I need to get rid of, but there are like 7 or 8 little pockets. If you could see that, you should be able to, because I'm using contrasting. And also here is where, now this is going to be interesting. This is interesting. Okay. This is where the Velcro pieces will attach to each other. Now, I think I was supposed to do the Velcro this way. I was. So the Velcro was supposed to be, and so I'm doing this so that you don't make the same mistakes I made. So instead of having the Velcro stick out like this, you actually are supposed to lay it flat so that when you wrap it around the mug, it will be towards the inside. But also, when you put the bias tape on, so the challenge that we're going to have is they want a piece of bias tape to go all the way around. And the problem that we're going to have is that these stick out. So you can't encompass the bias tape on there. So what time is it? Okay, it's 2 hours. So what I might do is just take it out right at this part and put the bias tape, put the Velcro the right direction. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take it out at this part. Just right at those 2 pieces. That way we can still stitch it on. We can still put the bias tape on and it won't be obstructed by the Velcro. Ooh. There we go. Almost. All right, one side almost done. You say you like it, you think it's cute. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, the best part about using contrasting thread is it's easy. When you got a mistake, you can get it out easily. All right, one piece out. So this is what I'm doing. So instead of having it sticking out in between, I am putting it on the dot, but facing inward, so that when the Velcro is wrapped on, it'll go around. So that's what I'm doing. And I can literally stitch this all right back together with this little hole back together with one stitch. So I'm just going to put one clip right there. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Well, that was easy. This one's coming out even easier than the first one. There we go. That one's out. There we go. Okay, just so I can show you what I'm doing, I basically have it facing in this way. And that way, when I put the bias tape on, it is going to be able to fit all the way around. And I'm going to just do it over top of this so that it covers this whole inside, the whole piece. So I'm just going to clip this all around. And it might look a little odd at the bottom because, as you know, we already have a piece of bias tape down here, but we'll see. So we're like 90% done. This is the last piece. Just putting this bias tape on here. I have some more of this fat. I have more of both of these because I have another fat quarter with this and this. So I think what I'm going to do is especially with this gold, I feel like it would look better if it was just all the same. Like if it was all this or all this. You said it's going to be kind of thick. You think it's not, I mean, you think I won't be, because the bias tape is like really, it's so thin. Even though I'm going over it, ooh, but I guess you're right where I have it like folded. We'll see. Hopefully I won't get into too much trouble by adding this bias tape. Hopefully it won't cause me too much of a problem. Fingers crossed, Dorothy. Fingers crossed. All right. And I'm just going to cut a little bit of extra. All right. Here we go. Here we go. We are stitching it on. Pray for us. Pray for us. I'm definitely going to take my machine to get service. I've been saying that, and I haven't done it. Every week goes by, but I still ain't take my machine. But it is definitely time to get a cleaning. For sure. Because it usually doesn't make this much noise. Yes, I am. Mm-hmm. So Ty asked if I'm using Microtex needles, and I am. Yeah, I mean, it's going through pretty well, easily. I mean, I don't take it for granted because, you know, but it is going through the fabric, the layers pretty well. Now we still got to do it one more time, but yeah, like I can tell like when it's getting through like the fold. Just doing it. I probably do need to change the needle. All right, we got through all the folded pieces. Now the next hard part is going to be where this Velcro is. Pray for me for that part. Woo-wee. Yeah, definitely didn't like that, but we made it. All right, we made it. You say you keep saying thing about you running it. Yeah, I definitely do need to take it. I'm telling you, like I made an appointment, I don't know, 6 months ago. And they called me and said, we're ready, you know, for you. And I said, I should have, and I got a backup machine because that was my problem at first, you know, and I got the backup. And now it's like, what is the problem? There is none. There is none, okay? There is no problem. There really is no problem. All right, I'm just folding the pieces down and folding it over. And I'm going to use my clamps to clamp it down. I'm also trying to make sure I did it really close to the edge so that I could bring it over enough to cover the existing bias tape. So pray for me that I'm gonna be able to do that successfully. Because this is officially the last step. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to cut this a little bit. All right, cut this some more. Just like a little. There we go. Okay, it doesn't look too bad. All right, there we go. Yeah, so I'm having to cut off this end to make sure it can go over. See, I cut off some of what I stitched on, so I got to stitch it back down again. Ooh, that sounds awful. You hope? No. It's not the metallic. So it was what made it like me have to do this extra is because I put a piece of metallic on where it didn't belong, because in the instructions, because there's 5 different examples, I followed the directions for one part when it really didn't apply to the one that I was doing. So when I put on this piece of bias for this black, it didn't really need to be on there, because that was if I was doing a different view, and I wasn't doing that view. But no, the metallic is actually probably the best part. That's the part I like the best. I like the whole thing. Now that I know, it's like, okay. So I'm just cutting off so that I made this like to improvise. I made the metallic for the last bias that I'm sewing on so it could cover it again. So I'm just cutting it down so that it will cover over the one that I already put on, as opposed to me having to take it off. So you'll see it looks really good now. Now that I've done that, it looks really good. So now I just have to put that top stitch on, but I'm going to show you really quick before I put it on so you can see how great it looks. And you're not even going to be able to see the piece of bias tape underneath. So this is what it's going to look like all said and done. You can see that. This is what it's going to look like from the front. This piece is going to fit in the mug like that. And then this is what it looks like from the back. So I'm going to just stitch this around, and then I have my mug here, so I'll be able to show you how it's going to look on the actual mug itself. I love this Dorothy, I'm telling you, I'm so happy that you said that, because I really wasn't gonna, I was not gonna go with the gold. I had it out because I was like, oh, it's a possibility, but I was not gonna do it. Um, we are down to the wire doing our little top stitch. Okay, here we go. It's going on really well. Halfway done. If y'all do end up sewing this, make sure y'all tag me. I love to see when people try and, I really like to see it. All right, we are like 3/4 of the way done. Down to the last little bit. And let me just fold this down. Do a little back stitch right here. And that stayed on. Okay, so here it is. This is what it looks like. Let me just cut these little strings off. Okay, so this is what it looks like from the front. And this is what it looks like from the back. And here's like the Velcro pieces that, will stick onto each other. But this will go on like this. Oh, shoot. How's this Velcro supposed to be on here? Okay, maybe it goes like this. Yeah. All right, let's see. I don't even know if you really need the Velcro pieces, to be honest with you. I mean, they are sticking on there, but once you stick this in here, so this piece, the curved piece is to the outside. This piece is to the inside. Basically, you are putting it on your mug like this. And then these two Velcro pieces are supposed to come out. And they do kind of touch each other. I think part of it is because I chopped so much off of it. But here we go. So it's supposed to be kind of like, touching each other. But as y'all know, y'all saw me chopping. But with that said, you don't really need them, to be honest with you. It's not coming off of this mug. So this is what it would look like. And if you had like, little stuff, you can put stuff on the inside of the mug. You can put stuff in these little pockets. You created a whole bunch of little pockets on the inside. And you have pockets on the outside as well. But this is what it looks like. I still have to cut little extra strings off of here, but I think it turned out pretty good. This is the end. This is what it looks like. The gold is definitely, what I will say is that for the inside fabric, you're definitely not getting to see like what the inside fabric looks like. So I would say like use your favorite fabric for the piece number 2, because that's the piece that is going to be towards the outside. Use the more plain fabric for piece number 1, because that's the fabric that's going to be towards the inside of the mug. So I would say use 2 and 3 depending on which one, which design you do, A, B, C, D, or E. 2 or 3 should get your best fabrics because they are the ones that are, or your favorites. They are the ones that's going to show more on the outside. And then like I said, this piece number 1, which is this piece, which I like. To me, I would have rather had this on the outside, but because I didn't construct it, I didn't know. This is what when I do another one, which I'll do another one, it'll take me half the time to do another one, now that I know everything I need to do. But yeah, that is basically how you do it. This is called a mug cover. And it is Simplicity 2450. Here's what the pattern looks like right here. And like I said, there's 5 different examples. So one of these is a repeat, but there are 5 different samples that you can use to put it together. And this is what it looks like. This is the whole piece. And again, it folds down. And if you want to use it for a bigger mug, I would say you could take these pattern pieces and probably like put them on a printer and maybe size up like 150%. And then you get a bigger pattern size to make it fit on something like this mug. Because it can fit on this mug, but as you can see, it doesn't cover the whole thing. It doesn't cover the whole mug. And again, you don't need the Velcro necessarily to make it stay on, because once you start, especially once you start putting stuff inside, it's going to stay down there. But the Velcro is a nice touch. If this, fit, it would, kind of be stationary on that way. So anyway, this is the regular size mug. This is the mug that it does fit on all the way. So let me just put it on so you can see it. And it fits it basically covers the entire mug. As you can see, it covers it all the way down. You can see that it goes all the way into the inside. You can see, and all the way down to the outside, and probably would go all the way to the bottom. But as y'all know, I cut all the way around. So I took some of it off. Where did I find the pattern? I've got this pattern. I either ordered it from simplicity.com or I got it from Joann's. That's where I got it. And I don't think it's like out of date or out of print. I don't think so. But like I said, I have had some of these patterns for, well, not, when I say a while, I mean, I've only been sewing for, it'll be I've been sewing since July of 21. So I've only had them at the longest. That's how long I've had it. And so I've definitely bought it in the last 3 years or less, for sure. If you make it, you say you could not find it on Simplicity. Okay, so you might have to get it, if it's out of print, you may have to get it off of Etsy. And I'll also, because you know what, sometimes Simplicity might have it, they may have renumbered it. So let me do some research on my end. You said it's on eBay. Okay, thank you, Marilyn. Let me do some research too, because I'm gonna put it in, I'm gonna take a picture of it and put it on in the Google picture, because if there is another pattern, sometimes they reissue it as another pattern number. And if they've done that, then I can post that one too. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. I appreciate the super sticker. And I appreciate all of you for joining us today. or joining me today for this so long. Please, I hope that you all try to make this. If you do, definitely tag me if you make it. And next week we're doing another craft. I'm going to definitely try to dive into it before we get on live. You're very welcome. Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate you. You said Tata. I know. Look, Miss Tata. I said when I did this, I was like, this is right up Miss Tata's alley. Like these are your patterns. Like I know you're gonna show off and show out with this kind of pattern. Like this is definitely something that you do. It made me think about you when I pulled it out of my pattern drawer. So I will, for everybody else, if this is, and it sounds like it is based on Marilyn and Ty looking for the pattern, they weren't able to find it on Simplicity. So it may be out of print. So if it is truly out of print, which it probably is based on them trying to look for it and can't find it, then you can definitely get it off of eBay, or, you know, if you search online, sometimes alternative patterns come up. But I will also look to see if they reprinted it, because sometimes they will give it another pattern number if they reprinted it. So the pattern number is Simplicity 2450. I don't know if it's showing right side on your screen, but it's Simplicity 2450. So definitely I will look and see if they have reposted it or reprinted it under a new pattern number, and I will post that information. I'll put it in my bio. I'll put it on the link in my bio just so you're aware, and then I'll also post it to the community tab on YouTube, and then I'll post something on that's on all my platforms. Yes, everybody should be able to see it from there. Everybody should be able to see it. So again, thank you all so much for joining me. I look forward to sewing with you all every Friday. So I'll be back next Friday at 7:00. And I don't know what we're doing next week, but again, I do have it in my bio, and I do have it already posted on the lot. I put all of the patterns that I'm going to do. And in fact, I'm going to be putting up April, May, and June. I will be putting up probably next week. So you'll see those for the next couple of months. You'll see those out there too. Thank you, Ty, for subscribing. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so happy Friday. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see y'all next Friday, if not sooner. Bye, everyone. And thank you again, Tanya. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everyone for joining today. Bye.